The world looked at the headlines and they saw a number, $50 million a year. To you and me, that is a fortune. But in the high-stakes world of billionaire athletes, 50 million is nothing. It is just a paycheck. Saudi Arabia put a real contract on the table. $1 billion. Cash. Upfront. Tax-free. And Lionel Messi looked at that mountain of money, and he walked away. Why would any sane person turn down $1 billion? Was it for his wife? Was it for the beaches of Miami? No. It was because Lionel Messi understands the one rule of wealth that most athletes ignore. You do not become a billionaire by taking a salary from a boss. You become a billionaire by becoming the boss, by owning the equity, the revenue, and the league itself. This is the story of the greatest financial heist in sports history. This is how Messi bought America. To understand the genius of the Miami deal, we first have to understand the trap that catches almost every other superstar for the last 100 years. The business model of sports has remained exactly the same. The athlete trades their time for money. It sounds fair until you look at the risks. If you get injured, the value drops. If you age, the value drops. When you retire, the money stops completely. You are an asset, and assets depreciate. This is why the offer from Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League was so seductive. It was designed to be irresistible. $400 million per season. It was the largest salary ever offered in the history of human labor. Most people looked at that number and saw freedom, but Lionel Messi looked at that number and saw a ceiling, because even at $400 million, it was still just a wage, a transaction. You play, we pay. You stop, we stop. It makes you rich, but it keeps you as an employee. You are still working for the owner. You are not the owner, but in Florida, the conversation was happening in a different room. The owners of Inter Miami, Jorge Mas and David Beckham, did not come to Messi looking for an employee. They came looking for a partner. They understood the unique structure of American sports. The Major League Soccer system is a closed garden. Unlike Europe, where historic teams can go bankrupt or get relegated to lower divisions, the MLS is a single entity structure. It is safe. It is protected. It is essentially a monopoly approved by the government. Messi realized that if he went to Saudi Arabia, he would be the star of the show, but he would not own the theater in America. The proposal was to give him the keys to the kingdom, to move him from the labor side of the equation to the ownership side. He knew that a salary can be spent, but equity compounds. The Saudi deal was about immediate cash flow. The American deal was about generational wealth creation. It was a gamble on the future of the sport itself. And Messi. This is where the story shifts from a sports documentary to a financial thriller. We have to talk about the clause that changed everything. The Apple clause. When Messi was negotiating, the Major League Soccer organization did not just offer him money from their own bank account. They brought in the biggest company on planet Earth. Apple had just signed a massive $2.5 billion deal to broadcast every single MLS game globally for 10 years. But Apple had a problem. They had the technology, they had the platform, but they needed the eyeballs. They needed a reason for a kid in Tokyo, a banker in London, and a fan in Buenos Aires to open their iPhones and pay for a subscription. So, they did something they have never done for an athlete before. They offered Lionel Messi a cut of the revenue. This is unprecedented. Think about the NBA. When you buy a league pass to watch LeBron James, LeBron does not get a direct cut of that subscription fee. When you subscribe to watch the Premier League, Erling Haaland does not get a percentage of the broadcast rights, but Messi does. Dot. Kino. Every time a new user signs up for the MLS season pass on Apple TV, a percentage of that monthly fee goes directly into Messi's pocket. Forever, this transformed his contract from a fixed salary into an unlimited revenue stream. It aligned his bank account with the growth of the entire league. No, he is no longer just being paid to play 90 minutes of football on a Saturday night. He is being paid to be the marketing engine for a trillion-dollar tech giant. This is not a sports contract. This is the Silicon Valley model. It is exactly how Steve Jobs compensated his top executives. Strictly through equity and growth. If the league stays small, Messi makes less. But if the league explodes in popularity, if it conquers the American market, there is no limit to how much money he can make. He essentially turned his fan base into his customer base. And considering he has more Instagram followers than the population of the United States, that is a very dangerous business model. But the financial web does not stop with Silicon Valley technology. We have to look at the other pillar of this empire, the German manufacturing giant, Adidas. For decades, sports sponsorships were simple. A brand pays a player a fixed fee to wear their boots. The player smiles for the camera, and they cash the check. It is a rental agreement. But Lionel Messi does not rent his image. He leverages it when he signed with Miami. He triggered a clause that is almost identical to the deal that made Michael Jordan the richest athlete in history. We call it the royalty model. Michael Jordan does not just get paid to be with Nike. He gets a percentage of every single Jordan shoe sold. It is perpetual income. Lionel Messi negotiated a similar tier with Adidas regarding the Major League Soccer ecosystem. He receives a cut of the profits from Adidas's MLS sales. And this is where the genius of the Inter Miami branding comes into play. The color pink. Before Messi arrived, pink was seen as a risky color for a sports team. But the moment he held up that jersey, it became the hottest fashion item on the planet. The demand was so violent that Adidas literally ran out of the specific polyester fabric needed to make them. There was a backlog of 4 months. If you wanted a Messi jersey in July, you were not getting it until October. Sync to safety. Think about what that means for his bank account. Every time he scores a free kick in the 94th minute, the highlight goes viral. When the highlight goes viral, millions of kids beg their parents for the jersey. When the parents buy the jersey, Adidas makes a profit. And when Adidas makes a profit, Lionel Messi gets paid. He created a perfect economic loop. He is the marketing, he is the product, and he is the beneficiary. The entire commercial infrastructure of American soccer is now funneling cash into one man's pocket. He is not just wearing the stripes. He is effectively a shareholder in the inventory. This connects the dots. Apple handles the digital distribution, Adidas handles the physical merchandise, and Messi sits in the middle, collecting a toll on both roads. Now, we arrive at the final piece of the puzzle, the number that makes the Apple and Adidas money look like pocket change. The equity option. To understand this, we have to look back at the man who signed him, David Beckham. When Beckham shocked the world and came to America in Artseling Chi, he took a massive pay cut. People called him crazy, but tucked away in his contract was a single sentence: an option to buy a future MLS franchise for a fixed price of $25 million. That sounded expensive then. But today, the team he bought, Inter Miami, is valued at over $1 billion. Lionel Messi has a similar weapon in his contract. He secured the right to purchase a percentage of an MLS club upon his retirement. This is where the true billions are made. It is not in the cash flow. It is in the asset appreciation. When Messi joined Inter Miami, the club was worth roughly $600 million. By the time he leaves, analysts predict it could be worth $1.5 billion or more. He is literally increasing the value of the thing he is about to own. Every goal he scores, every stadium he sells out, every subscriber he brings to Apple TV raises the stock price of the league. He is not just a player on the field. He is a developer building a skyscraper, and he owns the penthouse. By the time he finally hangs up his boots, his ownership stake could be worth more than every salary he earned in Barcelona, Paris, and Miami combined. He didn't just come to play the game, he came to buy the game. So, we have to ask the question again. Did he make a mistake by turning down the easy $1 billion from Saudi Arabia? When you do the real math, the answer is clear. No, between the recurring revenue from Apple, the lifetime royalties from Adidas, the guaranteed salary, and the massive future equity in the franchise itself, Lionel Messi didn't just move to Miami to retire in the sun. He executed the most complex and profitable business maneuver in the history of sports. He moved to Miami to become the first true athlete owner of the modern era. He didn't chase the money. He made the money chase him. No? He proved that while a salary can make you rich, only ownership makes you legendary. And that is how you become a billionaire.